So most people with Achilles pain don't fail because they picked the wrong exercises. They fail because nobody told them the order or how much or when to add the next thing. They may do random heel raises for a couple of weeks. They feel a bit better. They jump right back into all their activities, and then they're back to square one. So today in this video, I'm going to give you the exact program, week 1 to week 12. What to do first, what to add, and when. The other thing I'm going to add is if your pain is at the Achilles right where it attaches into the bone, that insertional type of Achilles tendinopathy, you need to do some things a little bit differently to make sure you don't aggravate it. And I'm going to add that in. So I'm Dr. Saller. I'm a board certified orthopedic surgeon specializing in foot and ankle. So let's get to work and let's go through the exercises. So one quick note first. This is general education, not medical advice. It's not a substitute for being examined by your own doctor. So if you've had sudden, more severe pain down by the Achilles, you felt a pop, you can't push off your foot, you need to stop and get evaluated by a doc. It's a different problem, might be Achilles rupture. And if you're not even sure if you have Achilles tendinopathy, go watch the last video I made and come back. So before we get into the actual program, I want to apply 2 rules that run through the entire 12-week program. You get these down and the rest is just details. Rule 1, where is your pain? Is it the middle of the tendon, a couple centimeters or inches above the heel bone? That's mid-portion Achilles tendinopathy. You do the full program. If your pain is right where the tendon meets the calcaneus bone or heel bone, that's insertional Achilles tendinopathy. You're going to do the same program with one very important change. You're not going to let that heel drop below kind of level neutral dorsiflexion. No deep stretch under load. I'm going to point that out and point out that change at every step along the way in this program. Now, rule 2, the pain rule. This governs every single exercise in this program. Some discomfort during the work is fine, up to about 5 to 10 on a pain scale. But you want to judge it the next morning. If you wake back up at your normal baseline, the load is about right. If you wake up worse and you stay worse throughout the day, you did too much, drop the load the next session. Pain that stays at or below a 5 on a 1 to 10 pain scale and then is okay the next morning is fine. If that pain keeps getting worse day by day, it's not. So keep both these in your head. Now, if this is a level of detail that you want on other foot and ankle conditions, subscribe to the channel because I talk about all sorts of different foot and ankle conditions and help you kind of get some basic principles down. So the goal of the first 2 weeks isn't to get strong, it's to get the tendon comfortable to take the load again. So your first exercise here in week 1 and week 2 is what's called an isometric calf hold. That means you raise your heels up, get into that top position, and you hold still. So here's how you do it. You're going to stand up on both feet. You're going to rise up on the balls of your feet. Your heels are going to be up in the air. Try to get all the way up to the top of your range of motion. You're going to hold it there for about 45 seconds. If 45 seconds is too much, start with 20 or 30 seconds and build your way up. You want to do 5 holds, so 5 reps, and you're going to rest about a minute in between each set. Do this once a day, and you can even move up to twice a day if things are going well. Now, here's one honest thing about these. You may have heard that isometric holds make tendon pain disappear. You may have seen that in other YouTube videos. This research is actually from the knee, patellofemoral, not the Achilles. So when this was tested on the Achilles tendon specifically, it didn't reliably relieve pain, especially short term. So the reason we're doing this is not necessarily to bring the pain down. We're doing this because this is a safe way to load the tendon early on when it's aggravated. But just don't expect the pain to start coming down after a week or so of doing these. Now, if 2 legs gets too easy, shift more of your weight on the painful side to make it harder. You can even go up on both feet and then hold on one leg. Now, here's the change you make if you have that insertional type of tendinopathy. You're going to do these flat-footed from the ground. Don't do them off of a stair or step. Don't go from that stretched toes up position. Keep your ankle at neutral or slightly pointed. Same holds, same numbers, just no dorsiflexion. If your pain is more the mid portion type, you actually can do this from a step and start from that dorsiflex position and then go all the way up and hold it at the top. All right, so now we're getting to the next phase of the program. We're on to week 3 and beyond. This is the engine of the whole program. This is where the tendon's going to actually get stronger. Now, you got 2 proven ways to do this, and they both have been shown to work about equally well. So I'll give you both. You pick the one that fits your life, because the best one's the one that you actually do every week and finish through the program. So option A is a heavier, slow progression, kind of more of a weight-based or gym-based version. Now, you don't have to be in a gym. You just got to have weights for this. This is 3 days a week. It's not every day. So you get 3 days with a rest day in between to help you get ready for the next session. Each rep is slow. You go about 3 seconds on the way up, 3 seconds on the way down, 6 seconds a rep, no bouncing. So what you're going to do here is you're going to do a standing calf raise, and then you're going to do a seated calf raise. The standing works the bigger outer calf muscle, the gastrocnemius, and the seated works the deeper muscle, the soleus underneath. So here's how the weight is going to climb over these next weeks. You're going to work in what's called a rep max range, meaning the weight is heavy enough that the last rep of the set is genuinely pretty hard and difficult to complete. So weeks 3 and 4, you do 3 sets of about 12 reps with a weight that makes that last 12th rep very tough. Weeks 5 and 6, you're going to do 4 sets of 10 reps. So now you're getting a little bit heavier. Weeks 7 and 8, 4 sets of 8 reps, heavier still. You rest about a minute to a minute and a half between each set. The load goes up as you get stronger. So this is progression, heavier over time. That's the part that actually changes the tendon and makes it more resilient. Now you're doing these with weights. You can use dumbbells or you can use a weight plate, whatever is comfortable for you to hold in your hands while you're doing the exercises. When you do the seated version, you can place the weights just above your knee, but you want to make sure that when you're pushing up, the resistance is going through your calf and not through your thigh. And like I said, you start with a weight where that last rep is generally difficult. This may take a little bit of tweaking before you get it right. And there may be a few days or even the first week where you're doing more reps than what you're supposed to kind of hit that mark. Now, option B, this is the classic at-home version. It's often called the Alfredson program. And so there's no gym here, no weights needed, but there's a lot more volume and you got to do it every day. You're going to do these heel drops. You're going to rise up on both feet real high up, just like you did in the isometrics. But now you're going to shift your weight to the painful leg and then lift up your other leg. And then you're going to lower down slowly on that one leg, about 3 to 4 seconds on the way down. Both feet up, 1 foot down. That slow lowering is the whole point. Here you're going to do 3 sets of 15 reps. Then you're going to do another 3 sets of 15 reps with your knee slightly bent. This is going to shift some of that work to that deeper soleus muscle. The reason you're not doing this one in a sitting version, like with a heavier load, is you just can't get enough resistance without weight when you're sitting. So that's 3 sets of 15 twice with a straight and then a bent knee. And then you do the whole thing twice a day, every day. Yeah, it's a lot of reps. That's the trade-off for no equipment and not doing the heavier resistance. Once you can do this without much pain, even in this program, you can start adding some weight, maybe a backpack with some books, and then heavier over the weeks. But remember, you're doing higher reps here. Whichever option you pick, stay in it through week 8, adding load as the pain rule allows. Now, just like before, what do you do if it's the insertional tendinopathy, that pain right where the tendon meets the bone? This is a big one. For either option, your heel doesn't drop below level ground. On the heavier version, you do the calf raises flat, not with your forefoot on a block that lets the heel sink. With the Alfredson version, do the heel raises on the floor, stop at neutral. This is where your heel is level and you're done lowering. You still get the load. You just skip that deep stretch that can compress the Achilles tendon against the bone at its sore spot. Everything else, the sets, the reps, the progression, stays exactly the same. Now, you might be watching this and thinking this is a lot of numbers to hold in your head. So I've actually put this entire 12-week program into a free guide that you can download. Every phase, every set, every rep, and then I add in the insertional changes or modifications as well. You can grab the link to this in the description. Grab that and you can just follow along instead of having to try to memorize this or rewatch the video multiple times. Now, moving on through weeks 9 through 12. By now, if you've been consistent, honest with the pain rule, the tendon is getting stronger and the pain should be calming down. The last piece is teaching it to handle those quick, kind of higher impact, springy type loads, because walking, hiking, skiing, maybe chasing your kids, all that stuff is fast loading, not slow. So you keep doing the strength work from phase 2. That doesn't stop. But 2 or 3 days a week now, you're going to start adding that light kind of impact, or what I call springy movement. You're going to start simple. So 2-footed hops in place, easy, low, quiet landings, and then a couple sets of 10 to 20 reps. When that feels good, you can progress to single leg hopping and faster movement. You want to space these out. Leave at least 1 day in between these different sessions, because that faster loading is more demanding on the tendon than the slow work. So the pain rule still governs all this. This high impact or springy type work that flares you up the next morning means you need to back off and give it more time. So the change or modification here, if you have that insertional Achilles problem, same idea, you're just going to ease into it a little more gradually, because the insertional can flare up a little easier, and so it doesn't love that aggressive rebound work early. So keep the hops low and very controlled, and progress a little bit slower if you have the insertional type. Now here's the part I really don't want to sugarcoat. This is a 12-week program because that's roughly how long it takes this tendon to meaningfully adapt. It's not 2 weeks. It's not a few days a week of stretching. And even at 12 weeks, you may not be all the way back. Full recovery can often, sometimes even run longer, 3 months, even 6 months. That's normal. It's not the program failing. It's just it takes a while to rebuild a tendon. So the mistake that I see over and over is the pain fades around 4 to week 5. People feel great and they jump right back into everything they were doing before, and they're right back to where they started back in pain. So the key here is feeling better is not the same as being ready. The tendon is still catching up on how good you feel. So finish the program, do all 12 weeks, even when it stops hurting. Now, if you've done all this consistently and you've been honest with your pain assessment and you've done the full 12 weeks and you're generally not improving at all, that's when it's really important and it's worth it to get evaluated by your orthopedic foot and ankle surgeon or another foot and ankle doc or doctor or healthcare provider. They may need to get imaging. They're going to examine you. They're going to figure out, is this actually Achilles tendinopathy? Is it something worse? And what else might they need to do to help you get to the finish line? So that's the whole program. Now, if your pain's at the insertion, remember that one change. Don't let that heel drop below level. One last thing. Finish all 12 weeks, even when it stops hurting around week 5. Feeling better isn't the same as being ready. And that's the mistake that sends people right back to the start. Tell me in the comments what phase you're in. I read all the comments. See you in the next video.